Hey there, happy day 991 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world to the online world. I spent over a quarter century in corporate America and pretty much I've actually always simultaneously running different businesses. And then in the early 2000s, left corporate America for the final time and just stuck with different businesses and things that I ran, some alone, some with my ex-husband. And in 2016, the end of 2016, was divorced and separating businesses. So all the businesses that we did together, all the assets had to be, when you get divorced, you got to split everything up. So we had to do that. And I had found myself in a unique situation where I could decide what I wanted to do next. Kids are grown for the most part, and at that time, and I could explore and be curious and do what I wanted to do. Well, I've been curious about the internet since its beginning and never really done anything of significance on it. Dabbled, had a couple social media accounts that I almost never looked at or participated in, but I was curious. So I decided that in 2017 I would become a ClickFunnels certified partner and learn about creating things online that way in a structured format way, because I wanted to do things differently than I did offline. And boy, did I do things differently. Now, I got to admit, not necessarily in a good way. The way I attacked online business seems to be the way a lot of people get sucked into and attack online business. That meant I spun my wheels in a lot of areas, went down trails and paths and learned things that I had no reason to learn and I thought I needed to at the time, only to come and find out, no, that's crazy. That's not your wheelhouse or your expertise. You don't even like doing it, much less why are you figuring out how to do it yourself when there are thousands of people, if not more, that could totally do that for you and with you or for your business. So I've done a lot of learning and diving into things that I absolutely positively shouldn't have done. Hindsight's 2020, right? I look back and I say, well, I totally didn't need to. And it wasn't honestly until chatbots came out that I said no. I have a chatbot. I don't use it. I don't know how to use it, but when I'm ready to use it, I will hire someone to do that for me. It was another rabbit hole that I bought into and almost went down, but I finally had been down so many rabbit holes already. I stopped myself and I said, no, absolutely not. This is going to be important. Messenger bots are going to be important, but it's not important that I am the person that programs and writes my message. Maybe I write the messages or maybe I share the messages, but I don't have to physically figure out how to do messenger bots. I don't need to physically have to figure out how to do social media advertising on whatever platform I so choose, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. I'm sure that Twitter and I'm sure they all have some way to monetize their platforms now, but I'm never going to learn that. Why? I don't want to learn that level of detail in any of those areas. For a long time, I don't know why, because in the offline world, I did a lot more of myself than I should have. I'll admit that. But I offlined and got help with the areas that I didn't love, that I wasn't terrific at. I got help with sanitation in my food business. I hired people to help manufacture the products. I hired people to do my accounting. I hired people to do my taxes. I hired people and had experts in legal in every department to help me build my offline businesses. Why would I not do that in the online world? And for some reason I have struggled and pushed against and bought into I just have to figure it all out myself till I make X amount of dollars. And that's the exact opposite of how we be successful online. So it's interesting. I don't know why I got in that tangent. Probably because clamming up. Clamming up was the topic of Supersize Your Business today, and my personal pop into my profile, my Facebook profile. I go live as practice every day for what I'm going to do on my Supersize Your Business page. Mainly because I want to practice the material. It's kind of like a comedian would practice their material before they share it in front of a live audience. They practice in front of the mirror. I practice in front of live people on my Facebook live profile, the topic. And I found that the topic goes different directions depending on who I'm talking to. When I'm talking to people on my profile page, they're different than the people I'm talking to on my Supersize Your Business page. So the Supersize Your Business page, I find a business slant. Well, how does this tie into and affect your business and your business right now? Not your business pre-COVID, not your business post-COVID, but maybe, but your business right now and how you're going to grow and stay in business and build and supersize that business. Because that's what we all want. We all want progress and feel like we're growing and building and supersizing our business. So today's topic was clam up. And boy, sometimes I know that this applies to me and I should clam up, and I just feel compelled that I can't. Other times, or that I shouldn't clam up. Other times I know and I do clam up. But I'm finding myself really having a hard time clamming up about blatant things that are wrong, evil, injustices, not treating people the way that you would want to be treated, and bullying and manipulating and anything unethical. I'm like, I have a hard time shutting up about that and keeping my mouth shut about that. And there's a whole lot of that we're seeing perpetrated by our social media platforms, perpetrated by the media, perpetrated by politicians around the globe and people around the globe with their own agendas. And so my battle cry for everyone is, think for your freaking self. Take a deep breath, take a step back, and look at the big picture of what's going on. One of the things I learned a long time ago, and I don't even, probably over a quarter century ago, was to sit back and observe. Watch the process. Watch the big picture. Watch what's going on. And so when people were going to conventions and events and things and you know, just buying into everything, I was sitting back and watching how it all worked, how it unfolded, because I was super curious about it. And I think because of that, even though online, once I got online, I went down some rabbit holes, in the offline world, I tend to have a better perspective and a better way of picking and choosing what I was going to participate in and what I wasn't. Now, doesn't mean I didn't make mistakes. I remember I went to one of those events when I first went 100% into the Italian food marketing business, and I didn't know anything about the internet, but I wanted to have a website and get online. So I went to one of these, I call them charlatan events, because they're kind of charlatan events. They sold me this big, get this website for $6,000 and you do all this stuff. Well, never did end up getting a website out of it, much less the 6 websites they promised and all this stuff. Because it was just kind of a shell and a scam. And it doesn't mean I didn't fall for those early on in my offline world, but I only fell for it once. And then I knew to filter and research and figure out whether I was even going to attend certain events or not. It's a marketing. It's a way of marketing so many things. And why? Because it's effective. It works. People buy all kinds of things at events. I've bought, and purposefully, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of coaching at big events. Now, I usually knew I was going to buy the coaching even before I went to the event. So maybe that's different than most people, but it's a great way to sell things. It's a great way to get the information out and to teach people a lot of things and help them get their feet wet into a topic or an area that they might want to explore more in. Challenges are huge for that right now. Now, I've been doing challenges for, I think, 30 years or more. But now there's this huge marketing tool online that people are using to give people a taste of what they can help them do and bring them into their world. I just do them for the fun of it right now, because I think that people need tools and strategies and information to deal with the massive change we're going through, for sure in the United States, but globally, just due to the pandemic impacting so many lives simultaneously, and so many people not being equipped to handle challenges and handle change, at least not of this magnitude. You know, there are people experiencing things that they have never experienced in their life before. And then there's some of us that have been through a whole lot of stuff. And so COVID to us is just another thing. It's just another Tuesday. It's just another day. It's the same as what we've been doing and preparing for a really long time. So clamming up was the topic of Supersize Your Business, and I don't know how good a job I did. I might actually have to go watch those videos. I don't usually watch my own videos. I know, painful confession. But if I did, I would never post them. I would never post a single video. And I think I'm over 3,500 Facebook Lives and podcasts now. If there's that many podcasts on my Libsyn account, then I've done at least that many Facebook Lives, because that's where I pull the sound from for my podcast. So there's a lot. I've done a lot of talking, so maybe I'm not very good at clamming up. So progress was our topic for the Get Up and Go challenge today, as long as we kind of segue into the challenge. Day 15 today, so we're halfway through, but we're really not halfway through, because I'm going to add a couple of days at the end. I added a free day on the 11th just to let people catch up, and then I want to do a couple other things, plus some Q&A days, some actual live question and answer days, so people can get their questions and their specific situation answered and handled. Day 15 is all about progress, and I of course shared the lifeline exercise, because I'm sharing every day this time through the challenge. I'm sharing one of my favorite tools, and I will say, and I didn't use it for a long time. I haven't used it for a long time until I started doing this Get Up and Go challenge again. And I had kind of put it aside and forgotten about it. The last couple of years, I guess all my years have been busy, but the last couple of years with moving and transitioning and things were really busy, and finishing up divorce stuff. So I forgot about it, and I wasn't using it. Usually I would do it at least once a year, and then I kind of fell by the wayside. So often we have things that we do, and then we just forget about them, and then they fall by the wayside. Kind of like people in relationships, right? People come into our life for a reason and a season, and then when that reason and that time is over, then they go their separate ways. We go our separate ways. Same thing with different tools and strategies and things we learn about. We use them and we love them, and then all of a sudden something else comes along and we do that, and so I have all these tools at my disposal that I use and that come in and out of my life. So I want to make sure that I share at least 30, 31, 32 of them during the course of this challenge, so that the people that are in the challenge, they can create their own toolbox. They can pick and choose what works for them and if they want, they'll be like, oh, that was kind of a cool tool, but it's not exactly right for me. But it will lead them down the path that they need of discovery to find the tool that will help them transform, to find the perfect tool for them. And so that's why I like to share some of the tools that I use and have used for years. I mean, some of the things that I've shared so far are things I learned in high school, who, what, where, when, why, and how. Back in the days when journalism was journalism, those were very important questions to answer for your article. And I have used that framework my entire life to investigate and analyze or not to analyze so much, I have different frameworks for that, but to look at different situations and stories, because it's all about the story that not only other people are telling, but that I'm telling myself, or to share other people's stories. What is the who, what, where, when, why, and how of that? That's a framework and a tool that I have used, and it's so automatic for me. I don't even think who, what, where, when, why, and how, and that's a tool I use. It's just built into my psyche and my subconscious, and I automatically ask those questions every time I'm faced with a challenge or a situation. Same with the lifeline exercise. I wanted to bring that back into my life, so I am purposefully looking at the progress that I'm making. And I think of the lifeline exercise as a more big picture tool than, some tools. And I think that's why I let it sneak out of my life. But it's back in now. It's back in. I've done it. This is the 4th time I'll have done the lifeline exercise as I go through the Get Up and Go challenge with people. And I like to use it now. Not just today was physical, because I'm going through the SOAP framework, which is the framework for COVID, for dealing with change and challenge that I teach people. And I'm going through it for the first time in detail. And I picked physical because, unlike some people, I gained weight and got out of shape and got less energy during the COVID shutdown and pandemic. Now, it's interesting because I'm still doing the same things I was always doing. I walk every day. I would say the one area where I've tanked and slipped is eating and meals and my nutrition. It's just kind of been, if I'm being really honest with myself, that would be the one area that I need to focus on shoring back up and cleaning up if I want to get rid of all that pre-COVID weight, which is my goal. So, Get Up and Go challenge. Fun challenge today was about attitude. I almost forgot, but it was about the attitude we have going to a situation. And it's from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So I think it's funny. This particular awesome journal is made for 6 to 9 year olds. And I didn't know that when I started doing it and got it. I just thought, last year was about, do one thing every day to be happy. Before that, it was do one thing every day that stretches your comfort zone or that scares you. Do one thing every day that scares you, which was all about stretching your comfort zone. Then last year was all about happy. And I thought, oh, geez, what do I want this year? Fun. And fun is a journal they came out with. So I'm like, okay, I will do fun. And then it turns out COVID hit. Got to hang out with my now 5-year-old granddaughter who started school this fall. And I am actually in a transition and shifting time, redoing what I'm doing and what my priorities are now that I am not hanging out with her every day. So as far as change and challenges go, we all face them no matter what our situation is, and they're different for each of us. So we need a framework that will work for all of us. The framework works for everybody. How you apply the framework is different for everybody, different for each and every one of us, because our lives and our experiences are different. And so that's why I think frameworks are so much more powerful than buy my system, follow my system exactly. Well, have you ever bought somebody's system, followed a guru or an expert, and tried to use their exact way of doing things in their exact system? For some of us, it's really painful because it's hard to, we don't have their past experience. We don't have their way of thinking. We don't have their mindset. And even if they teach us about mindset, that doesn't necessarily solve the problem. That's why I think frameworks and teaching you a framework and getting you to be able to install and use and apply that framework in your subconscious is so much more powerful than anything else I can teach people. And that's why I'm doing it in the Get Up and Go Challenge. And that's why I'm sharing tools. That's why I'm sharing so that you can be more equipped to do whatever it is that you want. All right, that is it. That is our update for today. I'm working on a bunch of other things, and I'm actually scheduling some personal projects that I've been putting off, procrastinating. Yes, even during COVID, I have procrastinated. And one of those I spoke of early in the COVID pandemic, when I thought I only had a little bit of time, was to organize and clean up. And I've got a storage unit that needs to be gone through, and probably 90% of that's going to go to charity. I had to hurry up and move, so I got rid of 90% of the stuff I already had, but even the stuff that went into storage, 90% of it is just things. It's been a year. It's been there a year, and I've only been to the storage unit 2 or 3 times. So how much of that stuff do I really need? Now I need the pictures of the kids, the family memorabilia and things. But beyond that, all of that stuff, the vast majority of it, I will probably be donating to charity like I did the rest of the stuff. Because if I can live without it for a year, do I really need it? Yeah, resounding no. The answer is no, Sharon. My kids be, Mom, the answer is no. So, because I used to use no a lot on them. That's it. Have an absolutely amazing day. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow to update you on what I'm doing now, what's working, what's not, what my next thing is, my next big thing, my next transition. All right. Have an awesome day.